Here we go! Bus Fleets Part 3. Go Wellington if you haven't figured it out already. Anyway, there's an animation of one of Go Wellington's Man 17.223s. There's actually loads of versions. I just took the basic one. Yeah, you can pause if you want to read that, because I certainly am not. That's if you can make sense of it. Yeah, these are the original. Now, this is not in age order at all. I just randomly made it. These are the 17.223s that Go Wellington own. They have the nice stagecoach interiors, and then if you don't know what I mean by that, then you should have watched part 2, where I explain what I mean. But just in case that you missed that part, I'll explain again. All of the buses that were owned that Stagecoach got originally just had a basic bog standard interior. The poles, the vertical poles that you hold on to, were yellow. The seat moquette, which is the stuff on the seats, was just a basic standard, whatever was around type. The interiors were boring. But it was around about the time that when these came along that they started caring. That they started customising the poles to be orange. They made the window frames blue for some stupid reason, which I think looks ugly as hell. And the seat moquettes were Stagecoach design, the same as what they had in the UK that I remember from London. And the other thing is that the destination displays were made using LEDs, which are much easier to bloody read. But that's what they use these days anyway. But yeah. Now, when these buses first came out, the Man 17.223s, they were some of the. Now, these buses are massive. They're some of the biggest buses on Wellington or on New Zealand roads today. Some of the biggest city buses, anyway, because they're very, very long. Here's some more here. They're also air conditioned, if you can't tell, with a big air conditioning pod on the top. Here's a couple here which were slightly older, which use standard moquette, as you can see there, and yellow poles and those horrible green signs which are hard to read in bright light. Yeah, these are the older ones which just have the basic interiors. There's 29 of those. That's wrong. I wrote that before I found that out. Oh, no, that's wrong. Yeah, these are the Man 12.223s. These are exactly the same as the ones in the Valley Flyer fleet. Standard design, standard interiors. I've been on one of these actually. They're actually quite nippy and quite fast, even though they're quite small. Double rear doors. Yeah, basically just your standard 12.223 that is owned by a lot of companies really. So not that interesting. Yeah, there's 16 of those. Not anymore, there isn't, because there's been fleet shuffles, by the way. These are the Man 11.190s. These are the 1997 versions, which are the same as the standard versions. You can see that some have rear windows, some don't. Yeah, these are just... Now, if you'd have seen part 2 with Valley Flyer, then you would have seen these. The other thing which I didn't mention in part 2 is that Mana have some of these, so I've ridden some, and they're actually quite nice buses, actually, considering how old they are. The only problem is that some of these buses, sometimes the doors, because they're quite old, and sometimes the door mechanisms get updated. And then when they do, they actually get worse and become very, very slow. But most of the ones I've seen in Go Wellington are actually very good and have nice fast doors. And they have nice and fast doors that open and shut very fast, which is what I like. Yeah, there's more here. 36 of them. Wow. And then these are the 1999 versions. That one there doesn't have a rear window, but they're supposed to have a rear window. These ones, basically, they're longer in length and they have wider doors and a different back. Those are about the only differences. And there's 24 of those. Now, these are a Man 17.223s again, but these are second-hand from a Christchurch company called Redbus. The differences here are they use a standard interior compared to Stagecoaches. There is no route display on the back because it's not standard. And these buses have opening windows compared to air conditioning. Hello, my computer's making noises. Yeah, and then there's a comparison video. Video. Yeah, this is a before and after photo. So what they used to look like to what they look like now. And then these are Man 18.280. It says 230 there. I typed that wrong. In Design Line Enviroline bodywork. Now, as modern as these are, believe it or not, these are second hand from Redbus as well. Believe it or not, considering how new they are. This is the most recent type of bodywork from Design Line. Yeah, yeah. These buses are very nice. They look very, very nice on the inside. From what I've seen walking past them, I really, really want to go on one of these. They look so modern. Design Line have really got better over the years. Now they look so much better. I mean, their buses look so much better and feel so much better inside now than some of their older, more basic designs. It's so much nicer. Yeah, and the bodywork just looks amazing as well. Yeah, that's the other thing. Having rear root displays in this country is not actually standard, so a lot of companies don't repair them when they break. Bubble designer scanners. Which of these are just the standard ones, rear doors. By the way, something I didn't tell you in the Valley Flyer and Airport Flyer ones. These ones actually have the out-swinging plugs doors, which are the ones that open outwards like that, sort of in a sliding sort of motion. So yeah, they have the nice outward opening doors compared to the inward ones. Man SL243. And you can tell it apart from a 202 because the 243 has bifolding doors, and the 202 has regular doors. That's the only way that you can tell them apart. Other than that, they look the same. Now, these were built by Coachwork International. That's always wondered me. I've always wondered whether Coachwork International did different doors on purpose so that you can tell what type it is. I don't have the faintest idea. So these are the SL202s, which you can see clearly have a different door. Then these are the second-hand ones. The 243s here from Go West, and 202 there from Birkenhead. The original Scania trolley bus. Actually, no. I think these were actually the second. I'm not sure. But yeah, these are the old Design Line trolley buses. I haven't included the original, the very old trolley buses because they were actually part of Stagecoach and they were replaced. So I haven't included them. But yeah, these trolley buses are very, very small. There's not many of them around, and as you see, they're in bubble bodywork. They have in-swinging doors. Oh yes, these are a bit better. I think these were actually the first ones. I know, sorry the photo is a bit dark there. I'll let it focus. There we go. Yeah, these ones were actually the first of the Design Line trolley buses, not the second. And yeah, these ones have the outward opening doors, and thank God they're slightly bigger. But there's even less of these. Then the main type. This is the main type. Basically, this is basically just the standard bubble, current design of bubble bodywork that's been modified for trolley bus use. And they also and the nice feature is the rear windows, which I like. Oh, sorry. But yeah, I've been on these and they're very nice. And also, the good thing about a trolley bus is that you don't get that when the bus is stationary. When the bus is stationary, you just hear a faint electrical buzz, and you can't feel anything. It's as if you're standing or sitting on flat ground when the bus is stationary. They're really, really good. The only problem is though they don't actually have that many seats, so they fill up really easily. Now these are the designer ones. Sorry about the pixelated photos. This is the PowerShell bus, and this is the Fern bus. Yeah, there's a couple of animations of the two, and then there's photos of the Fern bus, which I took on my cool camera. And then these are their brand new Enviro 200s. Now, for those of you in the UK, Enviro 200s in New Zealand are different from what they are in the UK. First of all, they're air conditioned. But the first thing you might have noticed is no rear windows, because a rear window on a bus is not standard in New Zealand. And that's right, New Zealand buses don't have to have a rear window. And the other thing which you would notice is the rear door is only a single rear door compared to rear door that slides, and compared to having two door panels. Is just the one. I don't know why I keep going so over this. Anyway, yeah, these now all Enviro 200s in this country are built. All the pieces are built overseas, but they're assembled by Kiwi bus builders. And these are even though they're Enviro 200s, they're actually the first Kiwi bus builders buses that Go Wellington have ever owned. Even if Kiwi bus builders didn't do the bodywork. Anyway, so yeah, this is basically them. I'll tell you more about these later on when I show you the Mana ones, because I have more photos of them. But they're exactly the same as the Mana ones, because they only do one version of these. The only difference is the seat moquette. Oh yeah, and then this is one here that's been decorated up to advertise the Metlink network. And that's it. Sorry this part's been so long, but Go Wellington just have so many flipping buses.